Peter Cooper, the architect of American opportunity. On an unassuming April morning in 1883, as the first light caressed the streets of New York City, I found myself seated at breakfast, gazing out upon Gramercy Park. My eyes were drawn to the tall flagstaff at the park's center. Men were carefully unfolding the flag, hoisting it with deliberate solemnity. It ascended halfway before halting, a silent sentinel proclaiming a profound loss. Curiously, the morning papers bore no mention of a significant passing. Yet, this silent signal of mourning required no printed confirmation. Whispers filled the air. He is gone, then. The good old man is gone. We shall never see his snowy locks again. Peter Cooper is dead. The news of Peter Cooper's death spread not through ink and paper, but through the very heartbeat of the city. By midday, New York was adorned with flags at half-mast, a spontaneous and universal tribute seldom afforded to a private individual. This was not merely the end of a man's life, it was a collective recognition of a legacy that had profoundly shaped a nation. Peter Cooper was no ordinary man. Born in 1791, his life spanned an era of transformation in the United States, a period marked by rapid industrialization, technological innovation, and social change. Cooper's munificent gift to the public, the founding of the Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art, not only revolutionized access to education but also embodied his unwavering commitment to social equity and progress. Peter Cooper entered the world on February 12, 1791, in a New York vastly different from the metropolis we know today. The city was a modest town of approximately 27,000 inhabitants, a fraction of its future size. His father, Captain John Cooper, was a veteran of the Revolutionary War, having served honorably until its conclusion in 1783. Despite his military rank, Captain Cooper was a hatmaker by trade, operating a humble shop in proximity to John Jacob Astor's fur business on Water Street. Cooper's mother, Margaret Campbell, hailed from distinguished lineage, the daughter of John Campbell, a former colonial mayor of New York City. Educated among the Moravians in Pennsylvania, she embodied a blend of intellectual vigor and moral rectitude. Her influence on young Peter was profound. She instilled in him the values of diligence, integrity, and compassion. As the fifth of 9 children, Peter grew up in a household where resources were scarce, and every member contributed to the family's sustenance. From an early age, Peter Cooper was immersed in labor. At the tender age of 8, he was already assisting in his father's shop, pulling and cleaning wool for hatmaking, a meticulous process requiring dexterity and patience. His formal education was limited to a single year of half-day schooling, where he learned basic arithmetic, reading, and writing. At 17, recognizing the limitations of his father's declining business, Cooper sought to carve his own path. He ventured into New York City with the goal of apprenticing in a trade that aligned with his interests and aptitudes. After exploring various options, he secured an apprenticeship with the firm of Burtis and Woodward, carriage makers located near Broadway and Chambers Street. During his 4-year apprenticeship, Cooper demonstrated remarkable ingenuity. He invented a machine for mortising the hubs of carriages, a technological advancement that enhanced efficiency and precision in production. This invention not only benefited his employer but also underscored Cooper's innate aptitude for mechanical engineering. Despite being offered a partnership, Cooper declined, adhering to his principle of avoiding debt, a testament to his financial prudence. Simultaneously, Cooper grappled with his lack of formal education. The burgeoning industrial landscape demanded more than manual skills, it required a foundation in scientific principles and advanced mathematics. Frustrated by the paucity of accessible educational resources, he resolved that if ever he acquired sufficient means, he would establish an institution dedicated to the education of working youths, a vow that would guide his future endeavors. The outbreak of the War of 1812 had a seismic impact on American industry. The carriage-making industry contracted sharply as imports ceased, and domestic demand waned. Ever adaptable, Cooper pivoted to capitalize on new opportunities. He designed and manufactured machines for shearing cloth, a critical need as the war prompted the growth of domestic textile production. His machines improved efficiency in finishing woolen fabrics, illustrating his ability to respond innovatively to market needs. In December 1813, Cooper married Sarah Bedell of Hempstead, Long Island. Their union was one of intellectual partnership and mutual support. Together, they navigated the vicissitudes of early 19th century economic life. Cooper's invention of a self-rocking cradle, which also warded off flies and played music, exemplifies how he integrated his domestic responsibilities with his inventive talents. This cradle, patented and sold, not only eased their daily burdens but also supplemented their income. However, with the end of the war in 1815, the market was flooded with British goods, precipitating a severe downturn for American manufacturers. Cooper's cloth shearing business dwindled. Undeterred, he experimented with cabinet making and even operated a grocery store on the Bowery, ventures that, while not lucrative, enriched his understanding of commerce and reinforced his resilience. In 1821, a pivotal opportunity arose. Cooper purchased a failing glue factory situated near what is now the corner of Madison Avenue and East 28th Street. At the time, the United States imported most of its high-quality glue from Russia, and domestic products were of inferior quality. Recognizing a gap in the market, Cooper meticulously studied the chemistry of glue production. He experimented with various processes, eventually mastering the art of producing a superior adhesive. Cooper's approach was hands-on and exhaustive. He personally oversaw all aspects of the operation, from the rendering of animal hides to the final boiling and drying processes. His commitment to quality control ensured that his glue met rigorous standards, enabling him to compete effectively against imported products. By streamlining production and reducing costs, he was able to offer a premium product at a competitive price, securing a substantial market share. Operating without clerks or sales agents, Cooper's enterprise exemplified the efficiencies possible through vertical integration and meticulous management. His glue factory evolved into a highly profitable venture, generating annual profits of approximately $30,000, a significant sum in the pre-Civil War economy. This financial success provided the capital necessary to pursue his philanthropic ambitions. In 1828, Cooper invested $105,000, a considerable portion of his wealth, in 3,000 acres of land within Baltimore's city limits, anticipating economic growth spurred by the development of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, B&O. However, the railroad faced engineering and financial challenges, particularly concerning the feasibility of steam locomotion on tracks with tight curvatures and steep gradients. Undaunted, Cooper designed and built the Tom Thumb, the first American-built steam locomotive. Weighing approximately 1 ton and powered by an innovative vertical boiler, the locomotive was a marvel of early engineering. On August 28, 1830, in a public demonstration, the Tom Thumb successfully hauled a train of passenger cars over 13 miles from Baltimore to Ellicott's Mills in just 1 hour and 12 minutes, despite an incline of 18 feet per mile and numerous sharp curves. This achievement was not merely a technical milestone. It was a pivotal moment that validated the practicality of steam-powered rail transport in the United States. The success of the Tom Thumb catalyzed investment in the B&O Railroad, ensuring its continuation and setting a precedent for future railway expansion, an essential component of America's industrialization. Recognizing the importance of high-quality iron for infrastructure, Cooper established ironworks in Canton, Maryland, and later in Trenton, New Jersey. These operations incorporated advanced techniques such as the puddling furnace and rolling mills, enhancing the quality and quantity of iron production. His Trenton Ironworks became instrumental in producing iron beams and rails, contributing significantly to the nation's burgeoning railroad network. Throughout his diverse ventures, Cooper remained steadfast in his commitment to education. By the 1850s, he had amassed sufficient wealth to realize his long-held vision. He systematically acquired land at the intersection of 3rd Avenue and 7th Street, foreseeing its potential as a central location in a rapidly expanding city. Inspired by the École Polytechnique in Paris, a premier institution dedicated to engineering and applied sciences, Cooper resolved to establish a similarly rigorous and accessible school in New York. In 1854, construction began on the Cooper Union for the advancement of science and art. The building itself was a marvel of engineering, 6 stories tall, constructed with fireproof materials, and featuring the first elevator shaft built into a commercial building in anticipation of future technological advancements. Upon its opening in 1859, the Cooper Union offered free night classes in mechanical sciences, engineering, and drawing, catering to working men and women who sought to elevate their skills. The institute also included a free reading room and the Great Hall, a public auditorium that would become a forum for notable figures, including Abraham Lincoln, who delivered his famous Cooper Union address there in 1860. Cooper's endowment, which eventually totaled over $2 million, ensured that education at the institution remained free, a radical concept at the time. By democratizing access to quality education, Cooper Union contributed to the cultivation of a skilled workforce, fostering innovation and social mobility. Peter Cooper's personal life reflected the same principles that guided his public endeavors. His marriage to Sarah was a partnership grounded in mutual respect and shared values. Together, they exemplified modest living, channeling their resources towards the betterment of society rather than personal luxury. An active member of the Unitarian Church of the Messiah, Cooper engaged in intellectual and theological discourses that shaped his worldview. His belief in the inherent potential of every individual fueled his commitment to education and social reform. He espoused the idea that knowledge should be accessible to all, irrespective of socioeconomic status, a philosophy that was progressive, if not radical, in the context of 19th-century America. Cooper maintained that wealth carried an obligation of stewardship. His business practices were characterized by integrity, fair dealing, and concern for the welfare of his employees. He opposed monopolistic practices and advocated for policies that promoted economic fairness and opportunity. Well into his 90s, Cooper remained actively involved with the Cooper Union, continually seeking ways to expand its reach and effectiveness. He understood that education must evolve to meet the changing demands of society. Under his guidance, the institution added courses in chemistry, architecture, and telegraphy, staying at the forefront of technological advancement. Peter Cooper passed away on April 4, 1883, at the age of 92. His death was met with an outpouring of public grief. Flags flew at half-mast not only in New York City but also along rail lines and in cities across the nation, a testament to the widespread recognition of his contributions. The New York Times eulogized him as a man who trod a path strewn with blessings for his fellow men. Cooper's legacy endures through the continued operation of the Cooper Union, which remains dedicated to his principle of providing outstanding education that is accessible to all. The institution has produced generations of architects, engineers, and artists who have shaped the cultural and physical landscape of the nation. Moreover, Cooper's life exemplifies the profound impact that ethical entrepreneurship can have on society. His integration of business success with philanthropic commitment set a precedent for future industrialists. Peter Cooper's journey from a modest upbringing to becoming one of America's most impactful philanthropists illustrates the transformative power of vision, perseverance, and unwavering ethical standards. His dedication to creating opportunities for others reflects a deep understanding of the societal value of education and the necessity of nurturing human potential. In an era where the nexus between industry, technology, and society continues to evolve, Cooper's life offers enduring lessons. He demonstrated that financial success and social responsibility are not mutually exclusive but can be mutually reinforcing. His belief that education is the cornerstone of a just and prosperous society remains as relevant today as it was over a century ago. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, may we draw inspiration from Peter Cooper's example, recognizing that each of us holds the capacity to effect meaningful change, to build opportunities, and to leave a legacy that uplifts generations to come.